the guy walked out to put some fish. He was going to fry some fish. And she said, I told her what the first step was going to be. And she said, I know what we ought to talk about, but no need talking about that one. And I said, well, what is it? She said, no need talking about that. It's been an issue for 10 years. And every time it comes up, it's a fight. I said, listen, I've said to myself several times, I don't know if this is going to work, but it always worked. And so she said, well, he's been.
Give it a second, get you back in a little bit.
Did you lose me by any chance?
No, that's all right. Yeah, I did. But anyhow, so what happened?
Okay. So the guy comes in. I told him, hey, the first step is we have to agree on one issue to resolve. And your wife mentioned something about you working in North Carolina. He said, okay, we can talk about that. And then they knocked it out. It probably wasn't 20 minutes. It was just done. This thing that had been a fight forever. I mean, not forever, but for 10 years.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It went on longer than it needed to. It could have been solved in 20 minutes or less. So the game allows people some type of ground rules. Correct me if I get this wrong, because I was looking at what you have out there. It kind of gives them ground rules to be able to have the conversation. Is that what it kind of does? Or no?
What the game does, it provides a structure that allows the couple to communicate clearly. And that allows them to resolve their disagreements quickly without the stress and drama. Now, I can tell you a lot of couples that, not a lot, but several of the couples that I've sat with will tell me, we're good communicators, but the problem is he this or she that. Now, they may articulate well, but when it comes to communicating, which requires listening and, and all this stuff, they don't do so well. So let me tell you can I walk through the first few steps of the game?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is how it goes. First, the couple has to agree on one issue to resolve. Then they convert that issue into a yes or no question. And that helps us make this issue really, really simple. Yes or no. So I like to use the example of should we, maybe the lady wants a new car because this car is raggedy. She's sick of this car. So should we buy a new car? That's our yes or no question. Well, if that's our question, first, she's going to take one of the cards and she will write down one detail to support her yes position on this issue. Then she'll take another card and write down one position. Like the first one might have been, this car is broken down on me 3 times in the last 2 months. She'll take another card and she might write down, this car is ugly. She may take another card and write down, this car is 40 years old. Now, what he's going to do is he's going to take his cards and he's going to write down things to support his no position. He may say on his card, my granddad gave me this car. He may say, we can't afford a new car. And he may say, hey, if this old car breaks, I can easily fix it. It doesn't have to go to the shop. So now that they may have 5 or 6 or 8 different details to support their issue.
On their individual cards.
Yes.
They have. Got it. Okay.
Right. You have individual cards. So she may have 8 cards and he may have 5 cards.
Wow.
Now, what she's going to do with her 8 cards is she has to rank them in order of relevance, how important these cards, this detail is to the issue on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being most relevant. So in her situation, she may say the car breaking down 3 times in the last 2 months, that's a 10 for her. It being old might be a 8 to her, and it being ugly might be an 8 to her, and it being 40 years old might just be a 5 to her. Now he may say, hey, my granddad gave me this car, and that's a 9 to me. And he said, if this car breaks down, I can fix it. That might be an 8 to him. And then us not being able to afford a new car, that wasn't really a big deal. So it may be just a 4 or 3 to him. Now she has 3 cards and he has 3 cards. They're going to take all 6 of those cards, put them together and stack them in order of relevance, with the most important ones being on top. So what we so far, Pax, is one, we've agreed to talk about one thing right now, which a lot of times doesn't happen. He's fussing at her about what the food tastes like while she's fussing back at him about what the front yard
something that has nothing to do with the cards, what you're saying. It has nothing to do with anything else, but you get them to focus on one thing.
Right. They're focused on one thing. Now, as you can imagine, if she has 3 or 4 details to support her issue, and he has 3 or 4 to support his, if they're just throwing them at each other at the same time, it's still a bunch of chaos.
It's a fight. Yeah.
Right. So
drama. Right.
What we're doing now is we're drilling down on this issue, and we're just going to focus on this one detail, because when I sat down to work on this, it was my opinion that if 2 reasonable people have the same data in their heads, they'll come up with the same reasonable conclusion if they're reasonably compatible.
Right.
Okay. You know what? I didn't even tell you how I came up with this. Let me do that.
See, I was gonna ask, but go ahead. Go ahead.
I got excited. Let me tell you how. So about 19 years or so ago, I was fortunate enough to meet a wonderful woman. Eventually, we got married. But after about 10 years of marriage, I was unhappy, and I just wanted a divorce. I was going through some depression, but either way, I wanted out. So we went to marriage counseling. The first 4 weeks of marriage counseling, they were assessing us to see if we were suitable for counseling. Okay, we didn't get any help those first 4 weeks. On the 5th week, they said, yes, you guys are suitable, and you're going to get another 8 to 12 weeks of counseling. Well, look, we got kicked out of counseling on that day.
The same day?
It was my fault because I didn't want to do this exercise that the therapist wanted us to do. She was like, Rod, if you don't want to do this, you guys have to, you guys aren't going to be able to continue. So I was like, whatever. So a couple of days later, man, I was looking at my beautiful wife, and I said to myself, you know, it's a shame we didn't get the benefit of another 8 to 12 weeks of counseling. And I was like, Lord, if I'm going to stay in this relationship, I need to see some progress right now, because I had been struggling for a while. So I sat down to work on something that I really wanted to help other couples not experience what my wife and I had gone through. And as I was working on it, I realized I didn't really have any major problems with my wife. I hadn't caught her lying or cheating or poisoning my food or anything like that. And I realized that if we had been able to resolve our disagreements as they had occurred, I wouldn't be in the predicament that I'm in. So I worked on something, and I think God just blessed me with something that allows couples to resolve their disagreements just almost immediately. And what I ended up with is couples coaching with instant results. You don't have to go through 12 or 16 or weeks or a year. When you sit down to work on a problem, you're going to get an instant result. So that's how
I love it. I love it, man. I love it.
So back to how to play the game is we have these 6 cards now. So and the card on top was her 10, which was this card's broken down 3 times in the last 2 months. So what she's going to do, one side of the card, there are only 14 steps. One side of the card she will handle. The other side of the card he handles, and the steps are on the card. So the first couple of steps are going to be hers. So she's going to tell him what she wrote and how relevant it is. So she's going to say this card is broken down 3 times in the last 2 months, and that's a 10. So steps 4 and 5 are on the other side for him to do. Steps 4 and 5 to me, Pax, are the most important steps in the game. He has to repeat back to her what he believes she means in his own words, and then follow that with, is that right? What this does, it allows her to feel heard. And when he do respond to her, he can respond to what she actually means, not something he thought she meant. So he's going to say, so what you're saying to me is, this car is broken down 3 times in the last 2 months, so you're embarrassed and want to buy a new car. Is that right? And she'll say, no. He has to get a yes. They have to be on the same page before they can move on. So he's going to say, this car is broken down 3 times in the last 2 months, so you don't feel safe. Is that right? She'll say yes. Now they're on the same page. Now let me say another thing. When I'm coaching couples, I insist that they say, so what you're saying to me is.
Love it.
There's a lot of benefit to that. Once you learn how to play the game, you don't have to sit down and play the game anymore. You can play the game walking around the house. So if your partner says something to you that that you might take the wrong way or that might be offensive to you, you can say, so what you're saying to me is, and that'll put that partner in the mind frame that we're just playing a game here. See, this is the kind of game where you can't win by yourself. The relationship has to win or you both lose.
Nice.
You're not the problem. The issue is the problem. And me and you, we're on the same team here to solve that issue.
Yeah.
So when you say it as you're walking around the house, so what you're saying to me is it lets your partner know you're not attacking them. We're on the same side. I'm just trying to understand you so we can handle this issue.
Yeah.
Okay. So then the next step is this detail is or is not true. So the guy is going to have to say whether the detail you said is not true. And as you can imagine, it is hard for a couple to agree on an issue when they can't agree on the details or the facts of the issue. And a lot of times, one of the players would say, it's not true. Like in this situation, the guy might say, no, it's not true. Okay, because, well, I'll move on. Then step 7 real quick, he has to say how important this issue is to him. And he might make it a 7 or something. Then step 8, he has to write down his response to her. He's got to write it first. Okay. And what this does, it slows.
Man, this game, you breaking him out, huh? He's got to communicate and listen.
So what? No, well, it could be her.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
This card could have been first. So she would be writing this now, right?
Yeah.
So by writing it first, it really slows the communication down. Otherwise, and it keeps you coming back with some quick emotional response or some quick defensive
knee jerk, just whatever you normally say, and that's just stupid. Right.
And it allows you to think about what you're writing. Like one guy said, "Is this really what I mean? Is this really what I want to say?" So it gives you a chance. So he's going to write it. Then he's going to tell her, I don't feel like this car's broken down 3 times in the last 2 months because one of those times you ran over a nail.
Oh my God.
So if we have a new car and you run over a nail, we're going to have a flat tire. So that doesn't really count. Okay. Now steps 9 and 10 are just like steps 4 and 5. She has to repeat back to him what she believed he means in her own words.
Got
okay.
it.
Because now that he understood her, we have to make sure she understands him. So she does that, and then the next step is steps 11 is when they have an actual focus discussion debate because they're on the same page now what each other said and what each other meant. Now let's talk about it. So they'll talk about it, and she'll say, you know what? I just don't feel safe sometimes. I don't know if I'm going to get in the car when I leave the grocery store and it's not going to crank, or if I'm going to be on the side of the road again and you have to come and get me. And he'll say, well, honey, I didn't think about the safety part of it. I'm a man and I don't worry about it. And when I thought that as long as I came and picked you up and fixed you, it was okay. But I understand now.
That's exactly how a guy thinks too. That's exactly how a guy thinks.
Right.
He's not thinking about how she sees it. That's true. Good.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then steps 12, he has to, once they're finished talking, steps 12, he's going to say what he took from this interaction. This on this one card, and ideally he'll start with, and it's written on the card, I feel better because. So he might say, I feel better because now I understand why this car bothers you so much. Okay. And then she's gonna, on step 13, she's gonna do the same thing. She has to say, I feel better because. And with that, she might say, I feel better because now you understand why this car bothered me. So step 14, the last step, is made up of two different parts. The first part is they have to agree. Was there any progress on this one detail? Yes or no? Any progress? And they're going to say yes. The next step, the next part is, was there enough progress to end the game? And Pax, I tell you, one of the reasons why most of these issues are resolved in less than 26 minutes is they always agree. I mean, most of the time they agree on the first card.
Really?
Because this is why. Because we talked about the major point of the issue.
Oh, right at the beginning. Yeah, you essentially talked about everything major. Right. Everything else is trivial after that. Yeah.
Right. So, for example, what might have happened is she might have come to him I'm sick of this car.
Yep.
It's ugly. And then he'll come back with a response like, I told you I'm going to paint that car. Well, the car's old. And then he'll come back with something like that.
Yeah.
And then she'll walk away.
It's been in my family for years. It's like she's going like, you're not hearing me though. I'm trying to tell you something.
And then the next day she'll come back and another thing. And now he's going to feel nag and come up with some defensive thing. Okay.
Yeah.
But when they sit down and talk about the main detail of the issue, they're going to resolve it most of the time. And here's the other thing. That part where I said steps 12 and 13, where they say, I feel better because most of the time, the lady is going to say, or it might be the guy sometimes, I feel better because I feel heard. I feel like you finally heard me.
Yeah.
And the reason why they finally heard you is not him necessarily. It might be because you came in the house screaming about this car in the middle of the football game. And he was like, just not trying to hear it right now, and just gave you a quick response to get you away.
The timing was off or something like that. Yeah.
Or you like, listen, the couple I told you that I helped resolve 9 issues in one day. The lady said after they resolved the fourth issue, she's like, I don't get it. I haven't said anything today that I haven't said 100 times before. And I said, well, he's hearing you now. And she said, it shouldn't matter how I said it. I've said this 100 times before. And I had to tell her that, I said, April, you have to understand that if you're telling him something for the 50th time, you're probably not saying it with the same attitude and the same tone that you said the first or second time.
Yeah.
So his defense mechanisms are going up. Now, if you're telling him something for the 40th time, even though he might need to hear it because he hasn't fixed it, he might feel nagged. So he's just really not hearing you thoroughly and not feeling what you're saying. But when people sit down to play a game together and they're on the same side to defeat the problem and not each other, they just resolve it. It just works every time, man. It could be decades.
I'm impressed that you came up with a game like this.
I have couples with 10, 15, 25, 22, 35, 44, 57 years. 57 years of having an argument about one thing. On average, they resolve it in less than 26 minutes.
Okay, then let me do this. Let me do this with you. All right, I got to do this. Here we go. I'm going to put this up, and you probably already talked about this. Let's see if I can get this to pop up here. Let me see if I get this working. There we go. All right, can you hold on a second. Let me do this. Get this up here. Can you see that on the screen there?
Yes.
Get something out of the way here.
And that was one of the ones I said, I don't know.
Is this one of yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Is this one of the couples you were talking about?
No, but it is one of the ones that I said, I don't know if they're going to be able to resolve this one. Can I tell you this story?
Yeah. No, go ahead. Yeah.
So this story, a lady referred them to me. I get to the house and the wife is on her way home. She's not there yet. So I tell the guy, hey, the first step is we have to agree on one issue to resolve. Oh, I already know what that is. Should I spank the kids? This is different though. Okay. Should I spank the kids?
This is different than the other story you told. This
is not that story. I said, okay.
Gotcha.
I said, okay. Actually, I think this one may have come second, and I wasn't worried about it. The wife comes home, and I tell her, you guys have to agree on one issue. He said something like, I told him I know what it's going to be. She goes, should you yell at the kids? And I was like, they're far apart. She don't even want him raising his voice at the kids. He wants to spank the kids. I was like, that's a new challenge.
It's a whole different issue. It's a different,
But at the end of this video, you'll see her going, oh my God, just by playing a game, can you come back again? Because he's real, maybe it seemed like not flexible or I don't know.
Adaptable.
He's real strong. I don't know what the word.
Too strong. Yeah, too strict.
I don't know what the word is for, but it looked like I could tell she like maybe never wins an argument with him. But here they sat down and played a game where they can actually hear each other, and it actually, she's able to get through because he's listening.
He need to be more understanding and compassionate instead of trying to just have it all his way, ruling it?
No,
Was he ruling
no,
the house then, or what? What was going on?
no. It's not about him needing to be more understanding and compassionate. He just needs to hear her. They just need a mechanism, an environment that like what the
I got you.
game creates.
Yeah,
so that
yeah.
they
I
can
see what
hear
you.
each other.
I hear you from a guy's standpoint. I see she needed to find that moment or thing where he actually listens,
Right.
instead of him. He did it to you when you, according to what you said, when you go to talk to him, he virtually cut you off, going like, "Yeah, I already know what the issue is."
Right.
He was, yeah. I know what you
Right.
mean.
Right.
I'm saying that like we're speaking some kind of code, but I know guys can do that. Right. Guys can do it to other guys. You go like, dude, I ain't even hear what I'm trying to say first. No, already you don't even. I'm smarter than you. Yeah. That's a bad thing for him to do. And they look like a really nice looking couple too.
They are.
Really nice looking. Okay, all right. Go ahead, because I got another one I was going to pop up, but go ahead.
Okay, I want to tell you, no matter how bad the issue is, it always comes down to communication. This
Bingo.
week, about 2 weekends ago, the week before that, I posted a short thing on Facebook saying, "Uh-oh, guys, I have a tough one coming up. I don't know about this one." So most of my cases, almost the vast majority of them, are with couples, husband and wives, boyfriend and girlfriends. This one was with a mother and a son.
Wow.
Okay? An adult son.
Oh.
He's 27 years old. And I've done that twice before. But what made me concerned about this one is that they've been on the outs for about 10 years. Okay? 10 years. To the point where he had her blocked on his phone. And at Christmas, I think through his brother's phone, he told her, "I wish you were dead." So I told the lady, if I can get him to talk to me, I believe I can get him to sit down with us. So that's half the battle. But if he sits down with us, I'm confident that it is over. It'll work. So he did sit down with us. And he started the day calling her Tasha. And I can kind of tell it bothered her a little bit. But he was calling her
that's
Tasha.
her name. He was calling her by her name instead of mom.
Right.
Got it.
It kind of even bothered me a little bit.
Yeah, it would bother me sitting there going like, "Come on now."
Right.
But
so
that's probably he had his reasons evidently.
Right. That's how much done he was with her. Yeah. And but halfway through it, he started calling her mom again after we had resolved like 2 of the disagreements. But at the end of the day, they had resolved 5 issues, and when they went their own ways, they did it with hugs and "I love yous."
Man.
Now, but look, the big deal, the exciting thing with me was when she was on her way home on the highway, she was talking to me and she started screaming, "Oh my God, oh my God." I said, "What's going on?" "Oh my God, he just texted me. He must have unblocked me." I said, "Well, I don't know. He might be able to text you and still have you blocked. You might ought to send him a text back." So she sent him a text back and he responded and with "I love you and have a safe trip" or something like that. Man.
Oh my goodness.
I talked to this lady for about an hour, and I kid you not, every 10 minutes she would say, "Did I tell you my son texted me? Did I tell you he texted me?" She was just blown away trying to tell me how amazing I was. And
okay, let me jump in here. Let me jump in here for a second. Okay, that's awesome. Awesome what you just mentioned. Now I got to understand something. There were 2 issues that you guys knocked out of the way, 5 altogether. Any chance to give us an idea? What are the 2 issues that they had that were holding them back? You still got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
You got to give me 1 second because I haven't uploaded those yet, but I have them.
Wait, no. If you're gonna upload them, we don't have to. But or you can give us a teaser and then let us know where we can find it when you finally upload it.
Okay. The last one I can't post. I recorded them.
No. Got it.
And if people ask me not to post them, I won't post them.
Yeah,
but,
right.
I think the first one was, should she take accountability? He didn't feel like she took accountability for where he is in his life.
I got it.
Okay. That was the first thing. The second thing was, do you bring up my father to make us dislike him? So she came out of a bad relationship with their father. So every time something comes up, she kind of blames it on her father. And
on his father. So she would badmouth the dad and says, if his fault, he should have been.
Yes. Now,
whatever it may be.
I'm not saying it wasn't warranted, but anyway.
I know what you mean. No, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's kind of
Okay.
like there
Right.
is some measure of accountability that could be on a lot of people,
Right.
mom and dad part. Yeah, I get you. I got you. All right.
And so
you're gonna post that or no? I'm just curious.
I'm
I'm
going to
just
post
asking.
those. I'm going to post
Okay,
those.
but you're gonna post them where? Is not Instagram, YouTube, or what, or Facebook?
It'll be on YouTube, and it'll be on YB Angry TV.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that now. You see now you done moved ahead of me. Now you're trying to produce the show. What's up? Direct the show. What's up with that? Okay, but we're gonna get to that, and it'll be on where again? You just go ahead and say it now.
YouTube. It's going to be on YouTube. YB
No, but
Angry.
it'll be on YB Angry TV,
YB
which
Angry
they can. Well, let's just do it now, so they can watch that on. How can they be able to watch that? Here's the question.
on YB. Look up YB Angry TV on Roku and Fire TV. Amazon
just
Fire.
lead our way. Here you go. All right, perfect.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to touch on it a little bit before we get done here in a little bit. What else you got over there? What you got over there? What you looking at?
The third one was, did you mean to wish I was dead on Christmas?
Ouch.
They resolved
that was coming
one.
from her though.
Yes, that was hers.
Oh
And,
wow.
Should she bring stuff up from the past? So basically,
What?
it was his issue. Every time something happens, she's always bringing stuff up from the past instead of listening to what he's saying now, kind of thing. That was his point.
Wait, but she's bringing up stuff from the past that he did. Is that what he's saying?
Yes, that he did, or that
Okay.
the dad did, something like that.
But he's bringing up stuff from the past about what she should have done. I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy with a microphone.
Listen,
I'm just a man with a mic.
You make a point here.
I'm just saying, he don't want her to do something, but he doing the same thing to her. So I'm just saying.
I always tell couples, man.
Don't show them this show because they're going to be mad at me now because they're going to
No. They'll be all right. I tell couples when I sit down with them that I don't have a dog in the fight. Whatever your issue is, it doesn't matter to me. What I'm here to do is show them how to play the game so they can resolve their disagreements amongst each other instead of having to tell the pastor or their best friend or their girlfriend or go to counseling. Right. Okay. Right. So like what you said, that's your opinion, right?
Hey,
and obviously
I'm an outsider.
Opinion, right. But you're not in the relationship.
That's right.
So that's how we do it.
And we're going to keep it that way. But what I was going to say is, all right, so I got to put this up. I'm not going to hold you all day because I know you get things to do, but here we go. What's this one here? Do you think you are better than me?
Do you think you're better than me, man? And look,
how was that session going? That would have been funny to be a fly on the wall with that discussion. Who brought it up? The guy,
that was
guy or
his.
the girl?
That was his.
Really?
He has and they have a podcast. That was the first podcast I did. But I did that like a year and a half ago or something. So look, the issue was now she has she's really analytical. Her degrees in
she looks like it. She don't look like she don't know nothing. She look like she's smart.
Her degrees in science, computer science or something like that. And I forget what he does, but I guess he feels like she thinks she's better than him. But
she might be. No, I'm just it's like that sometimes.
Hey man, but again, you're not in that, right?
Hey, yeah, I know. Hey man, you better take that, man. If you got a smart woman, go ahead.
Yeah, look, but he was trying to say that he's not the only one that feels that way. His other friends and family notice.
Oh, really?
Wow. Every time, well, not that she's better than him, but every time something comes up, maybe she talks down on him, or like if he has a suggestion, she'll do something different. Anyway, look, here's the big thing. Another benefit of this game. Sometimes one of the players don't even know it's an issue. So she said, the guy, I always ask, how long has this been an issue? This has been an issue for 7 years, and she didn't even know it. Right?
Wait. He didn't approach that. Come on now. He didn't approach that. He didn't say nothing. It's not like he's getting his meals burned all the time and he's just trying to be nice.
Listen, man. Sometimes, especially men, have a hard time bringing up things when they think it's going to cause drama. Okay, so another benefit of the game is if you're going to say, it's easier for you to say, hey, honey, let's play YB Angry. And then the other person's going to be into it more than we need to talk. That's probably going to go downhill to start with.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But I can tell you, one Saturday, it was Juneteenth. I'm trying to make it fast. It was Juneteenth weekend. I was at a park and I ran into a guy who hadn't seen in like 25 years, Pax. So I had told him, I told him what I was doing, and I said, was, sometimes people don't even know they have an issue.
Got it.
And and little issues permeate into other issues in your life, right? I said, sometimes there's an issue, and one of the partners don't even know it. So the next day, I happened to be having a Why Be Angry party. That's when I get more than one couple together, and we all play at the same time, sort of. Okay?
Why Be Angry party?
Yeah. Why Be Angry
and all
party.
These people showing up know that they're gonna play the game.
Yeah.
There are no sharp objects in the place. There are no weapons that we can bring. No bats, because people get out of control.
Hey man, that's one
security guard at the door.
Another benefit of the game, man. Nobody ever gets angry or upset.
Okay.
Ever.
All right.
Okay. And it's hard.
You're talking about black people, right?
Yeah. It's hard to believe.
Right now, I'm going to get counsel. Counsel culture going to get me for making that comment right there. But I can say it.
It's hard.
I came from the ghettos. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. But so the next day, so I invite him out. He comes and plays the game, and their issue was, should he have purchased that car? So he purchased a car to do Uber and Lyft, which is what he does, and he makes plenty of money doing it. And he bought a new car for it, and for a few months, it was bothering his wife, and he didn't even know it, but it was bothering her because she thought he used her Hawaii vacation trip money. So when it was over, he was like, I didn't even know this was an issue. And I said, see, I just told you that yesterday. So sometimes, man, we just don't share with our partners.
Man, let me talk to that boy. You don't be doing that kind of stuff, man. You just asking for trouble.
Well, maybe, I guess.
Yeah, I see it on your face. You're going like, yeah, that boy better not do something like that. That's just like, you better talk that out. All right, so I got to do something with you. Just a couple more things, and just here we go.
Okay.
Does he play video games too much? Okay. You got to go check this out, everybody. You can go to his Instagram and check it out. But please tell me about this one. Okay, because we are talking about the man in the picture, right? Not his son. We talking about this grown man right here, and she's asking this little pretty smile on her face, and she looked like she says, "Please help me, Rod. Help me get out." She go like, "Does he play video games too much?" So what in the 60s, world,
right? And she,
hey, you know what? That's me. I'm in my 60s. But so how does Why Be Angry walk them down this path? This brother man playing video games.
All the issues are the same. It's the same game every time. The same 14 steps. The same 14 steps. And yeah, she just felt like he plays video games too much. And I think this might have been a case where he didn't really know it was that big of an issue to her.
How could he not know? Well, it's not like she's going to be walking in and giving him Twinkies and donuts every time he gets on the game. She's going to probably have a little, uncomfortableness.
But he don't know why she has an attitude. Come on, she's a lady, so you don't know why she has an attitude sometimes.
He better ask. He should ask.
He didn't realize until, I guess she asked him to rake the front yard, or there was a bag of trash or something like that in the front yard, and she asked him about it, and he said okay, but he stayed on his game, and she went out the door and slammed the security door and just did it herself. That's the story she told me. I told her, well, that'll teach him. But they played the game, and he's like, well, I didn't know it was urgent or whatever you want. Just tell me now, and I'll stop. So, but they stopped. They resolved it, man.
Hey, did they get to the 14? Did they do 14 of them or what? Do most people get to the 14, or do people just they're done at 8?
No, there are 14 steps on one card. You go through all 14 steps on the card.
You go through all 14
to resolve the disagreement. Yeah, you get through the steps.
Oh, okay, you get through all the steps.
On one card, yes. Now, if you don't resolve your disagreement on the first card, this card is broken down 3 times in the last 2 months. If you don't resolve it on that one, then you go to the next most relevant card, which would be, my granddad gave me this car or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Right.
And,
Now,
and, and
go ahead,
another thing,
please.
what happens is, since you have taken the time to write down all the details, it allows you to get everything out versus one person saying something to their partner and getting shut down and just walking away, and then coming back another day with something they forgot to say or didn't get out and making the other person feel nagged. They get everything out. When I first started doing this, it was about 6 months before I actually start posting these videos on my YouTube channel. So I would call the couples back and ask them how things are going, and things were still great. It was still resolved. You know, like the lady that's bending my ear back for a couple of years. It's been a couple of months now that I've helped them with those 9 issues, and I just spoke with her yesterday, and everything's still great.
Wow.
So for 2 years,
are they still playing the game like without you? I mean, they don't need you there. They're still playing the game. Some of them still go back and do it, or?
I don't think people continue the game as much as I think they should. I think they just want to fix this 1 or 2 or 3 big problems they have.
Plug the leak that's doing it right now.
Right.
And right. If something else pops up,
right.
Go from there. Yeah. Hey, so how long do these sessions go? Do you find yourself taking a sleeping bag? Do you got to take a toothbrush and everything when you go to these people's homes? Do you think this is going to be an all-nighter? About how long does it last? Is it one of those you got to take a tent, and what are we talking about here?
Right. So all the ones that you see on my YouTube and my Why Be Angry TV right now, all those, I'm usually in and out of the house in an hour. Okay,
really?
Those
an hour
in and out, setting up my camera and lights in an hour.
No fisticuffs, no fighting.
No, there's never any, like, if you don't want to talk to your spouse because it's going to cause trouble or drama, this is the game for you. It never happens. It never happens. Let me tell you, I was right here where I'm at right now in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and I didn't have anything to do. At the time, I was looking at my parents, and I had not asked them to play the game because the game was undefeated.
No, you didn't.
The game was undefeated, and I wasn't going to ask my parents because I know they're not going to win the game, right? But I said,
you know they're not going to win the game?
Because I've been watching them for 57 years at that time. They fuss and fight, right? My dad's stubborn and all this kind of stuff.
Oh my goodness.
So look, I said, you know what? I've been wanting to do some research to see if there's an age limit for this game, or if there are certain issues that the game won't work for. So
what a good son you are. What a good son you are.
Wait. So I asked my parents to play just as research. And once they lose, I didn't have to include that in my numbers because it was just research, right? So I asked my parents to play. Their issue was, does my mom have to have a TV in every room? They've been fighting about this for 57 years. When the TV goes down, my mom wants it fixed today. Okay.
Wow.
And my dad will lose his mind. You grew up with 8 people in the house and 1 TV. Why now do you have to have a TV in every room?
Actually, that's the reason why. That is
years.
actually the reason. That's the reason why. Because she had one.
Right.
I want one everywhere now.
Right.
Right. Go ahead.
So for 57 years, this was a fight. They sit down to play and they resolved it right away.
Wow.
So I said to them, well, why after so many years were you able to resolve this in just a few minutes, like I always do? My mom says, well, we talked about it. I said, well, haven't you talked about it before? My mom says, no, we just argued about it. Pax, I kid you not, it was 8 months later, almost to the day, that I realized that of all the couples that I had recorded playing the game, not one person had written profanity on their cards. Not one person had written an exclamation mark on their cards. So there's no yelling and there's no cursing in this game.
Awesome.
You understand what I'm saying? It
awesome.
People say it takes the emotions, the negative emotions out of it.
Look at that.
And I think the main reason why it takes the negative emotions out of it, because it's not me against you. It's us. We're on the same team.
It's not attacking one another.
Right. And nobody has to feel defensive because we're on the same team. We have to win this game together.
Yeah.
Tackle
the issue instead of each other. Yeah. Tackle the problem instead
of this guy was something else right here, man. I've got like 3 talk to your ex-wife, or do you talk to your baby mama too much? But this guy,
Yeah,
he
I
took
saw
the
another
cake,
one that
man.
said about baby
He
mama
put it. He
thing.
was old school.
He was. Oh, just tell me a little bit. Tell me a little bit before we have to go. But go ahead. So, just tell me a little bit.
So he talks to his ex. She says he talks to his ex-wife too much, and he ended up telling her something like, "Hey, uh, she's the mother of my son,
Ouch. Ouch.
and I've known her for more than half my life, longer than I've known you," and all this kind of stuff. And he told her, basically told her, she's like a sister to me now. You are the love of my life. And I think that's all she needed to hear. And it was over.
Wow.
After
Interesting.
going through the steps.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
So, but this has been a problem for them. I don't know. Usually on those videos, I'll say how long, near the end, how long it's been a problem. 10 years, 15 years, 20 years.
Yeah. Right.
57 years.
Yeah. Hey, so when it comes to the book, if somebody purchased your book, what benefits would they get, or value would they get out of picking up your book?
So the book, it kind of walks them through again how to play the game, tells a little bit about my story, but the main thing, it kind of walks them through the game. Mm-hmm. But also they can, and you just have the story there. And I actually have an example of a couple playing in there word for word. So they can learn a little bit there. I encourage your listeners to go to my website, and there's a link on there for 3 free tips. Okay.
I'm gonna pull it up here. Let me see you said 3 free tips.
Near the top.
Near the top. Okay, go the other way here. Let me go the other way.
There it is right there. If they click on that, click to receive 3 free tips, I'll send them it'll ask them for their name and an email address, and I'll send them a video that will show them how to resolve disagreements without arguing.
Got it. Okay, really good, man. So everybody, please go ahead and take advantage of that. Doesn't cost you anything, and you can still eat a pizza while you get it. So 3 free tips, but for the price of a pizza or thereabouts, you should be able to get his book as well. Check out the game. Same thing with the game. I think the game, of course, the game's only on your website.
Yeah, it's only $20. There you go, there.
Right here, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So here, go ahead and get a hold of the game. Why Be Angry? No More Arguing. The Why Be Angry relationship game makes communication with the one you love fun and easy. No fuss, no drama. I like that from you. And you also have. Let me scroll down here. You also have T-shirts, right?
Yeah.
You got a merch store too, right?
Yeah.
Everybody, please take advantage of that. Support my man Rob, Mr. Rod, and what he's got going on. And I really would appreciate everybody if you show some support for something positive and peaceful as this game. I appreciate you being here today, my friend.
Thank you, man.
The game is $19.95. Correct me if I said that right.
That's the book.
I'm sorry. The book. The book is $19.95. The game is
$19.99.
$19.99. Everybody, please make sure to do that. You told us how it all began. You've been awesome today. I'm so happy. First of all, let me apologize on social media world to you in front of everybody. I apologize for getting back to you so late. You had reached out to me. I saw it. We had a number of things happen from when you reached out to when I actually responded back, and I apologize to you for taking so long. But I was ecstatic to be able to finally be able to make this work. And I know there are some people that are regular watchers of our channel and listeners of the podcast. They were looking for you to come on. But this was really good, man. The stories are just amazing. I could pick your brain all day. But do me a huge favor. I want to get to this part of the show. Everybody knows what's happening here. You've been here and you've been with me since the beginning. You know I'm going to do this, so here we go. If you could, please, sir, out of the kindness of your heart, shed some advice for couples that are passing through or that will see this later or listen to it later. Give some advice on, why be angry and what you got going on.
So, Pax, my advice is try to remember your partner is not the problem. The problem is the problem. If you can be on the same page with your partner, be on the same team, and talk about the problem and not make the other person feel like they're the problem or they have to fix something or do something, that'll take you a long way. Wow. Now, I can tell you that most of the time, well, let me back up. All the time, every one of these issues have come down to communication. Okay, you might think you're a good communicator, but for some reason, when people sit down to play the game, all they're doing is going through these 14 steps, which help them communicate. And it's kind of not intuitive because it's not the way we've been resolving our disagreements for the last 10, 20, or 40 years. So, and when I sit down with people, all I really do is I coach them to make sure they're following those steps. They're doing step 4 when they're supposed to do step 4 and not jumping to step 8. Okay, so it really is whatever problem you have with whatever disagreement I'm saying you have with your partner, it is about communication. You can resolve it. I'll bet my right arm.
I like that.
Okay?
I like that.
That's it. Go get those 3 free tips, and I'm going to make them do that, and I'll email them the video, and they will learn a little bit.
I like it. Love it. Everybody, please make it a part of your plan to reach out to Rod on his website, your YouTube channel, your Facebook, your Instagram, a lot of those things, all of those things, and a number of other links that you sent me will be in the description of this video when we get a chance to make sure we put all of them in there for you. The other thing I wanted to mention to everybody is hopefully in your busy schedule, you'll be able to come back with us again, whether it's tomorrow or another time. We'll talk about that another time. But right now, everybody, it's time for us to go because thank you for taking out of your time. And he had some things he had to do today. And I know we planned this, but I really appreciate you doing this and sticking it out at the beginning when we were trying to work everything out to finally get on. You're a good man. And I just can't believe that you were ever stubborn at one time. But it's just you're so easy to get along with. But it's nice to hear your story. You're a very good man. And everybody, we're out. Okay, I'll see you later, my friend. I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye-bye. We appreciate everybody being here. I know the camera's here somewhere. And I appreciate you sticking with us. But this is the time of the show that I do what you told me to do. Let me click some things over here. In which, well, I go over here, I do that, and I play some music on the way out. Okay, everybody? So let's do that. And a number of live shows coming your way. Enough of me talking, just getting my voice back. All right, everybody. Have a good day. Let's see what I'm going to put up here for you guys. Let's do this one. We've got some more shows coming your way. We will be back again live tomorrow. Hopefully we'll get a chance to maybe have Rod come back. If not, without a doubt, you'll have me. We'll get Rod back again. We hope you enjoyed the show with Sir Rod. And got more stuff coming your way. Please make sure you check out and give some support to The State of Grace, along with Susie with a Z podcast. Make sure you check out the Crystal Teas, and I am Amber Legato as well. We really appreciate Rod being here today. All right, people, go make it a good day. All right, everybody. It's been a while, been a few months. First show back. I think. I don't know. What am I doing? NATV Network. Often imitated, but never duplicated. Peace out, people. Stay out of trouble. Behave. Be good. Play nice. Paxton out.